What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and mostly on YouTube with your hosts Komp and
Moo Moo Pack-a-Shoe.
And it's the year 2020. So our first film for the year of 2020 is
Us, which is part of Black History Month. 2019.
Well, I was going to do
Us.
that, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do it.
No, it's alright. Go ahead.
No. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Us, 2019. Directed by Jordan Peele, written by him as well, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, and Elizabeth Moss, among many other actors. A family's serene beach vacation turns to chaos when their doppelgangers appear and begin to terrorize them.
Wow.
So, Danny, why did you pick Us?
Because I still hadn't seen it, and...
Wow, when did you see it?
I saw it, last week.
Oh, nice, okay.
Yeah, I'd wanted to see it the whole time. It just, I fucking kept missing it somehow.
For a long time, I had wanted to do Black Horror Month for Horror Deconstruction, because there has to be some good black horror movies, right?
So far it seems like not many, honestly, unfortunately.
It shows you that, I don't know.
Jordan Peele needs to get ready and keep going, because...
Yes, he has to go forever to represent. No, but anyway, I wanted to do Black Horror History Month. I always wanted to, because we always take January off for, every time, because we do a whole year of this series that nobody listens to, and we like to give ourselves a month of time to prepare to continue to have not
charge
be heard by
up for the
else,
next year of nobody listening to it.
To have our astonishing 5 downloads per how many episodes we do a year. Either way, we still do it anyway because we have mental issues. But I wanted to. We picked a good 4. Well, let me say that.
We picked one good movie.
We picked
so
4
far.
movies.
So far, of the movies we've watched one good one.
Yeah, so we picked 4 movies for this month. Of course, as the big statement of Black History Month being only the shortest month of the year. Of course, that's what they say.
Unless it's a leap year,
they're not lying. It's only like 28 days in the month.
Yeah.
So
but if it's a leap year, it could be better,
God, if it was 31 days, could you imagine those racists would be like shooting in the air and stuff like that?
They'd go crazy. Yeah.
But anyway, so we went with Jordan Peele's film Us, which came out last year. I was like, damn, this came out last year. I thought it came out in 2018 because
I honestly, I went in comparing it immediately, like, is it as good as Get Out and blah blah blah. Obviously, it's a completely different movie, but I think I like it better.
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing, because a lot of people, Us had a big wall to fight after following the highly successful and highly touted. It was actually nominated for an Oscar. It won a fucking Oscar for original screenplay.
Did Get Out win an Oscar? Really?
It did.
I think that's a little overkill, maybe, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, I know, but I think what happened is there was a momentum behind the film itself. Not to take away from the film, because I actually highly enjoyed it. I think it was one of the highest rated films from last year. I think I and Thea did an episode last year about it.
It's definitely overrated, though, I have to say, but it is good.
Okay, but a lot of people, they were waiting to see this film, to see the follow-up. And Jordan Peele had stated that this was more of a horror film than anything about, political issues or ideals or stuff like that.
But it is kind of about political issues.
See, watching it, I was like, I didn't really notice it, honestly. I didn't...
I mean, you could watch it as just a horror movie, but there's a whole fucking view that you could take that's like super political.
Right, obviously. Because then a lot of people online were not as, I guess they weren't as not happy, but not as satisfied with this film as they were with Get Out. Yeah. Which was obviously a parable of... Was parable the right word?
Parable?
I gotta read
analogy?
English. Analogy, yes, there you go. Analogy about, I guess, super racist white liberals taking over the skins of... Because I doubt any Republican or hard right-wing person would want to get inside of a body of a black person. So it was like a strange sort of look at the inherent racism of a lot of people of wanting to be the superior race without having to deal with
How
the
could
issues.
it be racist if I like them?
But anyway, so Us is the follow up, and a lot of people were a little bit let down, and they were like, "Oh, you still got to support the movie because black filmmakers," which fine.
I think this is definitely better than a lot of other movies.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that. There's a lot of horrible fucking horror movies that came out in 2019.
Like, there are a couple scenes in this that like creep me out for real. Like,
very good. So how does Us start?
It starts with little what's her name? Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Yeah. at a like a theme park on the boardwalk in California, and her dad isn't paying attention, and she goes into a house of mirrors and sees her doppelganger.
I believe it takes place in the same area as The Lost Boys.
Maybe.
It does. Because I remember that was like a specific thing that they said that it takes place in. I don't know
like
if it's
Santa Cruz, right?
Right. I don't know if it's canonically the same area, the same because I think it was sort of they changed the name or something in Lost Boys. I can't be sure. But either way, I know it takes place in the same.
It's been a little bit since I've seen. I don't remember every detail.
Same location, because every time I see like a beachfront something, I'm like, oh, is this Coney Island? But then I realize there's no fucking movies in Coney Island besides The Warriors, which is like in 1970 something like that. So anyway, so what happens to young Adelaide at the theme park?
Well, she sees her doppelganger. Yeah, it is Santa Cruz. Good call. She sees her doppelganger, and that is all we know for now.
She goes into
revealed further. And then she goes into like a shock for like
Danny skips like so much stuff in the beginning, but this little girl Adelaide, it goes from her bickering parents. She jumps off the main pier and goes and finds a really I like when art direction takes its time with the funhouse.
Yeah.
Because usually in horror films, the funhouse looks like. Well, funhouses in horror films look way more expensive than they do in real life. Like, those shits never look as good as.
No, I've seen some
unless
really
they were in Disneyland.
Ones.
That's like in Halloween Horror Nights, like in Universal.
I'm telling you, in
really?
In Austria, there's like this whole park.
Yeah, but that's Austria. They care about that shit. Here in the U.S., it's like they'll hang a T-shirt up and spray paint it green and say it's a fucking ghost or something.
I remember I saw a snake woman at a fair, and it was literally just a big rubber snake with some woman pathetically having her head poke out of a hole in the face. It was like the most pathetic thing.
But so this film, you see her go into this weird fun house. She goes into this mirror area, which is like it was actually pretty effectively creepy when she looks into the mirror, and like the size of the girl's eyeballs are like huge when she she sees something in the mirror. That's what we're expecting to see.
So she sees the back of her head in the mirror, which is freaky.
Right, that is patently freaky. So let's just jump into spoilers from here, as in, how we perceive these scenes and all that stuff. We're basically going to just break down the film.
Mirror shit scares me. Poltergeist 3, it's not a good movie, but I remember as a kid, it used to scare the shit out of me.
The little girl, the blonde girl? What happens in
just
I
didn't see fact that the mirrors are, like, doing their own thing, it freaks me out,
What are they doing in the mirrors? Oh, just people just doing their own stuff in the mirror?
Well, it'll show the reflection, but it'll be slightly off or something.
Oh, that's interesting. I remember, So is it like if you're in the room when you walk in and then your double is like eating a sandwich?
Well, it will you'll walk away and the mirror image won't walk away right away or something.
You walk away and then your like mirror image just like starts turning on the TV and sitting down and you're like, oh the horrors,
it's like masturbating to like tentacle porn.
Because then you realize how disgusting you look when you jerk off or something. The only other time
I always stare at myself in the mirror when I do it.
You cut your own name into your chest backwards so you can read
But I do it backwards. So that way in the mirror it looks it. But sometimes it will be not facing the right way in the mirror, and that's when I know something's wrong.
In the mirror, you're upside down jerking off. You're like, no, Lovecraft, all the horror. But I remember seeing like the only other mirror joke that I saw well, not a joke, but a horror film was the Craft. The one with the witches.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like one of the hot witches. I forget what her name is. She was the African American one where they like. I didn't realize about that movie is that
isn't she like the only one that doesn't end up being crazy and bad?
Right. Yeah. Because apparently they wrote that. I didn't realize it because I just watched the film but younger and I didn't notice it. But apparently she had nothing to do in that film. Like they just relegated her to nothing because she was like the only black character in the film. And she would just be like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" That's all she did throughout the whole film. And then whenever they had like the Craft, when they have meetups, that you pay them for their signatures and stuff like that.
Right.
She would never be a part of it, and I'm like, I felt bad for her. So Rachel True, I think, is the actress. That's her name. She's hot, and she still looks the same. But anyway, there's a part where she looks into a mirror, and then she looks to her side, and I must have not have noticed it, but her reflection takes a whole second to do the same thing in the film, and people were freaking out, and I'm just looking left and right, going, "What happened? I don't know what's going on," because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, so. This girl sees a reflection. So here's the thing, like at the I remember seeing the preview for the trailer for this film, and obviously it's about doppelgangers. And I was watching this lady who hosts a sort of a she shows previews for other films. She goes, because the whole commercial for the trailer for this was they used that song "I Got Five" on it. I forget, is it Craig Mack? You know, "I got five on it," blah blah blah, that song, and they do that that song, and they're in the car, and the mother's teaching her son rhythm, like she's snapping her fingers. You got to do it to the rhythm, because I guess the kid is not very rhythmic.
Yeah.
And then the lady who hosts the show, she says, "Hey, I bet she's the clone. You know, I bet she's the one." And then I was like, putting in my head, I was like, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Like that would be sort
why?
of.
I don't understand why you get it from that.
Because what's happening is the lady is this is just a random guess before the film ever even came out. You understand? Yeah. She's like, maybe she's the doppelganger because she's teaching somebody how to get the rhythms. So you're just wondering, like, she made up a whole.
That's like a normal thing to do.
No, I know, but I mean, like she was right though. You know what I mean? She was absolutely right about it.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you're trying to teach a person how to act human. So maybe she was trying to act human all this time, and she just got that from that little.
Yeah, but she didn't know. She forgot everything.
I get it, but I'm just saying somebody from the outside who hadn't even seen the film guessed it. And I was like, oh, yes, I would go into.
I didn't see it coming at all, actually. But then when you look back, it's like she's the only one that can talk.
Because she learned it, remember? Because she's she wasn't speaking when she was taken out of the funhouse.
No, I know.
She eventually learned.
I know, but what I'm saying, I'm saying the doppelganger, which is actually the real one. The doppelganger is the only doppelganger that can talk.
Because she learned. She took
months. I'm saying the real one who went into the doppelganger world and then came out as Red in the red outfit, but she's actually real originally.
Yeah.
She can talk. She's the only one that can talk. That's the hint that she's the real one.
Right. What are we talking about?
Oh my god, I'm saying that out of all of the doppelgangers, the only one that could talk is the one who was originally a real person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the problem?
That's a hint.
I got it like you were saying that I was saying that wasn't a possibility.
No, I'm saying that's like a giveaway that she used to be real. Like,
what a wonderful start to the new year.
Okay.
So this whole film follows Adelaide and her family.
Getting so frustrated right now.
Consists of her husband and her 2 children. So I guess the doppelgangers fuck. And she takes. Can you imagine? What if you found out like your wife was not like. Listen, here's the thing with this Jordan Peele film is like...
I mean, they are real people, and apparently there's like this underlying thing that there was like they kind of hint at it, but then I was reading because I was confused, and they were saying there's like a government experiment and that they're real people living in real tunnels underneath, which is like... They should have just left that out and just left it supernatural, honestly.
Those are called homeless people. But like... Because if you really think about it, because we're going to be jumping in and out of ideas of what this film means or what the fuck it's about... Like, it's an interesting idea that we have all of our copies of us are down. You know how they always say that thing, like, there's somebody who is out there, like, completely looks just like you somewhere out there. Yeah. And I believe it because there's that. I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's this guy who looks like the spitting image of Charles Bronson. And now he just does. It's crazy because he's, like, from Bulgaria or some sort of country. And he looks like Charles. I was seeing some trailer for a film. I saw a still of it, and I don't know if you could Google Charles Bronson lookalike, but I look at the still and I was like, I thought they just photoshopped Charles Bronson's head on a guy's body, and the guy looks like him, and I was like, it gave me a spooky feeling.
Okay.
You know, Charles Bronson's been dead for so many years.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie, so the guy makes his money. He doesn't speak English that good.
Yeah.
He just makes it doing like shitty sort of new action films, like bad versions of,
Man, I could do Daniel Day-Lewis maybe. I've been told that many times.
Because he retired, so now you could do Daniel Day-Lewis. Like,
I've been told I look like him so many times.
They'll be like, "What's up with Daniel Day-Lewis's acting? What happened?"
He's terrible now. And he's a little bit uglier.
So my idea is that why with this film is that like, what was the point of the clones? Like, what are they?
As far as like the actual explanation of the movie, it seems like just this vague, stupid explanation. Oh, it's a government experiment, and the motive is vague. But as far as
they made enough clones in the world that they were able to do Hands Across America, because that's a whole motif in the beginning of the film. Like,
yeah. Well, I think that was just because the original Adelaide, after she got sucked into that world, was obsessed with that idea because that's the only thing she remembered from her childhood, and that's
right. I get
why.
that, but I mean, like they actually no, I understand that part, but I'm saying like they made enough clones around the whole fucking planet Earth.
Yeah.
That they're able to do that. Let's say there was how many people in the world? There's like 9 billion people in this planet.
7 billion.
7 billion people in this world.
Yeah.
You got 7 billion people under the Earth, under like.
Well, how it doesn't really show them outside of Santa Cruz, but I guess it's implied that they're everywhere.
Well, I mean, you see them over the fucking mountains at the end, right?
Yeah, but we don't know those mountains are like so far away. They could have still been in California. I don't know.
Anyway, so Adelaide's with her family, and they, try to have an idyllic, nice weekend at the I believe it's the husband's friend's house. The guy played by
Tim from Tim and Eric, Tim Heidecker.
The guy from Tim and Eric, who's like fashioning himself a nice little career as like a bit actor, I guess now.
He's great.
He's very funny. He's a pretty logical guy, I guess. I never really like. I wouldn't watch Tim and Eric because I found it annoying, and then I would actually watch. I saw the film.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I remember watching the film and laughing because there's a scene where he wants to adopt some random man's son, but it's just very uneasy how he looks at the boy and talks to the boy. Like,
yeah, no, it's like the most awkward, gross humor. It's amazing.
It's not implied like. They're not directly saying that he's a pedophile, but it's just the way that he acts around the kid, like rubbing the kid's shoulders. It's so fucking funny because it's stupid. And then like the other guy, Eric, is like looking at him like, "What's wrong with you?"
Eric's amazing too.
But then I watched, and he's a pretty prolific director now. He does like a lot of commercials for stuff. But anyway, then I started watching some of the show, and it's actually very funny. But anyway, back to this. Tim Heidecker is the guy's name.
Yeah.
He has his own wife and his two twin daughters, and shit happens. Just they start seeing weird shit. Then one night, Adelaide's family, sees their doppelgangers, and the kid, the boy of the group, says, "Hey, they're us," right there. So I didn't know going into this film. I didn't know if us stood for United States, because that's what I thought this whole time. U.S. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe he was just being vaguely political with the film. What did you get out of it that was so political?
I think that
it's class issues.
Well, no, I think it's more like nature versus nurture kind of thing, because like you could see that all these people living down there are like slaves and have no choice but to go through these like motions. Imitating other people, whatever. And they're all like
But
crazy.
They have no control over it because they're called the tethered.
Right? Yeah, they have no control over it, and they've all gone obviously insane because of it. And then you have like you can see that it's not necessarily that they have no soul, because they say they have no souls, but it's not that, because the real girl from the real world is a normal person, goes down there, loses her mind, and becomes evil, and then a doppelganger who was crazy comes out and becomes like an actual mother and falls in love and shit. So,
yeah, because she was a normal person down there and she lost her fucking mind.
So it's really, I think it's just about the idea of like, you have no choice and society can turn you into a crazy person, but if you are given freedom, you can make something of your life even if you were originally seen as bad,
That's interesting. It's so funny that but I felt bad for the little girl that she got switcherooed. Like, she didn't like evil Adelaide. What was her name in the film? The evil version of her?
Red, I think.
Red was the original Adelaide. Sorry.
So yeah, Red is the original one, but we think she's a doppelganger the whole time.
So I don't understand why Adelaide, the one that's in this one, not Adelaide Prime, to use Star Trek referencing.
Adelaide Prime is Red, and
yeah, right. Adelaide number 2. I don't know why Adelaide 2 didn't just take Adelaide Prime with her. Like, I don't understand why.
Because she hated
that's
her.
crummy. But she didn't. But I mean, she didn't know. Like, that other girl didn't know. So it's like,
yeah, but it doesn't matter if you have people like oppressing you forever. You're not gonna like try to see it from their way. You're just gonna hate them.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought it turns into sort of a. I was sort of expecting a bigger sort of film in a sense, not like. Usually, a follow-up film to a director who's had a pretty nominal hit. There's more of a something going on to it.
Yeah,
I don't know what sort of films I can sort of explain that have that. Like, the only one I can come to mind but was horrible was Donnie Darko was followed up by a film called Southland Tales, which was about the apocalypse, because obviously they'll throw.
Wait, Donnie Darko had a sequel called Southland Tales?
No. The director made a movie. Sorry, the director made. There was a Donnie Darko sequel.
Yeah, I heard it was terrible. I didn't realize
it was awful.
Called Southland Tales.
It's terrible, and it follows Donnie's sister, the little one. But anyway, so I mean, Southland Tales is like about the apocalypse. So they always throw bigger budgets to directors who have hits with smaller, original films, so they can see, what you can do with them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it happens good, sometimes it doesn't. You can see a lot of directors like Christopher Nolan obviously has taken the reins and gone beyond what he was capable of with like Insomnia, or obviously James Cameron with Terminator. Do you know what I mean? It's just like they get bigger films, and this one, I was expecting, and it's my fault for expecting a bigger thing, but it was sort of just like a regular run-of-the-mill sort of slasher film, where they're trying to. And I was like,
more though. I mean, there was like a whole other thing to it.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did with Get Out, because Get Out was a little bit more fun, a little bit more funny to it. This wasn't really that funny. I guess if you see one of the interactions with the kids, it's funny. I did like that the kids were ready to kill people. Like, they just, there was no moral questioning about killing people. It was very crazy. Like, they just, these children were ready to kill people. Like, the boy and the girl were, slashing and slashing. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck happened here? The husband was very funny, Winston Duke. He's a good actor.
And him and the main lady, Adelaide, are both from Black Panther.
Yes. Oh, Winston Duke was M'Baku, right? They had to change M'Baku's...
Yeah, I think he's the one that starts out like a bad guy, but becomes a good guy.
He's the one that barks a lot.
Yeah, he's like the mountain. They live in the mountain.
They had to change. They had to change M'Baku's character's name. I think it was M'Baku all the time, but in the comic, his character's name was Man Ape. Because he dresses up like
have gone over
he dresses up because he's wearing like a body of a gorilla. And then they changed it to the movie, obviously, because people would fucking flip out, rightfully so. Although I don't think it was... You can never guess what they did in the 60s. It was probably racist. Who knows? They were white guys.
I don't think that it...
White guys were giving each other high fives. But, so they changed it. But he's very good in here. He's a very completely different guy in this film. He's like... Because as M'Baku in Black Panther, he's like a fucking virile, war dude. And in here, he's just sort of like a what do you call, like a 2000s sort of dad, like a sort of a nerdy father, but the guy's
he's
fucking humongous. They're really... Lupita Nyong'o is really good in this film. I had no reference of... Huh?
Who is?
Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, that's the main... okay.
Yeah, she plays Adelaide in Red. She's excellent in this film with her...
I'm trying to remember her role in Black Panther. I know she was in
Black Panther's
I recognize her, but I can't... It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Sort of forgettable. Her character was sort of... She didn't really get any really good roles until this one. Like, the only other huge roles that she was in, obviously, she was noticed for her work in, I think, 12 Years a Slave. And then also she was in Star Wars The Force Awakens as Orange
No, Last Jedi. Oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah, right. She was in... She's... I forget what that character's name is. Maz Katana. But this one, she actually gets to act, and I was like, wow, she is very good, because she played two completely different characters, and you believe that she was two different characters. Yeah. She was really good. People were pissed that she wasn't nominated for an Oscar. So, you look at what films you get nominated for, but it's true, she should have gotten some sort of recognition for the work that she did in this, because it was, legitimately two different characters in the film.
Right.
Whether I think this film was...
horror is always overlooked, unfortunately. It stinks.
Yeah. But she does really well in this film. And what did you think about the violence and the gore in this film?
It was pretty good. I mean, I wish there was a little more of it, honestly. But it was okay.
All right, so just to go back to what I had spoken about earlier with the Charles Bronson guy, Google this guy's name. Okay. Robert Bronzi. Bronzi. Just look up that guy's name and then just look at a photo of him and see if I was joking about what he looks like. I'll continue talking. So there's a fair amount of slashing. What?
It's just freaky.
Do you see him?
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
He looks like him, right?
Yeah, it's upsetting. There's something wrong
That's
about
what
it.
I thought too. I thought it was CGI when I first saw it. But they interview him and he seems like a really nice guy and he's making money.
I'm
So
sure
good
he's
for
a
him.
nice guy. It's just
He's like,
I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
come to America, I make a movie, I do this. So what do you think are tethered versions of us doing that? We're making a shitty podcast?
Mine right now is,
You and I are doing
laying on the
podcasts
floor,
right now.
propped up on their arms, smiling maniacally.
And we're doing a podcast. We're going like that the whole time, talking about a movie called SU.
Right now, mine just pulled his penis out.
So does that mean they have a version of like Batman Returns down there too? Like obviously they filmed the whole movie down there. That's what I don't understand because there's people driving around like.
Well, they don't. I mean, you saw them on the roller coaster scene.
Oh, that's true.
They're just standing in place and being like.
It upsets me because it doesn't make sense. Because like if somebody was like driving a car, then what would happen to the person down there?
They would just be like.
I know,
probably
but they wouldn't
sitting
be able
in
to catch
place,
up to
miming
them.
driving or something.
I know, but they wouldn't catch up to the person.
So?
Forget it. Because then it wouldn't.
They're not like a mirror image. They're, a doppelganger.
I don't buy it. I think that's bullshit. Anyway, so yeah.
I think that they're getting into the science of, it was a government experiment and there's real tunnels underneath. I don't like that aspect.
Right.
I feel like because there's no motive. The more you think about it, the sillier it seems. There's no motivation for that. They should have just left it as like some supernatural portal opened or something. I don't know.
So interesting premise. Not very good execution on that part of it, but execution as in visually, yeah, really well done. The whole storage room with the rabbits and stuff like that.
And they eat their rabbits.
Yeah. And then
what do the rabbits eat?
Other rabbits, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, like how do they farm down there to feed the rabbits? Doesn't make.
Well, the rabbits all just like fuck each other and breed, but like I guess the rabbits are eating like bugs. Right? You can eat.
How do you make toilet paper? What do you do down there?
It probably smells horrible down there.
What'd you think about the slasher aspect of the film? Do you think it was violent enough? Was it gory enough for you?
I mean, once you get past the premise that all of these doppelgangers have organized, which I guess you could understand that, but then it's like, okay, and now they have all red matching suits and scissors.
Didn't they always have red suits or no? They didn't. They built.
No, I mean it shows them. It shows them at points when they don't. But it's like, okay, that's like kind of obviously it's just for visual coolness, which is cool.
Right.
But like trying not to think about it story wise, okay. Like, fun. It's cool. I like everything.
What did you think of Jordan Peele as a director with this outing?
I think it's it's good. I now that we're talking about it more, I'm like, I think I do like Get Out better, but like, it is definitely a good movie. Mm-hmm. I heard like not such great things about it, so I don't know. But I think it's definitely better than any of the other movies we're reviewing this month.
Yeah, I think it was. It's Loonies. It wasn't. That Loonies were the guys that made the "I Got 5 on It" song. I don't know who the fuck. I say Craig Mack. That's a completely different guy. Anyway, yeah. So we don't really go into detail because not much happened in this film other than go to a beach house, get attacked by monsters. This girl was in it too from your show that you like.
Wait, you sound talk a little louder. Sorry.
You know the Handmaid's Is it the Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah. That's what she's from. Okay. Yeah. That's Tim Heidecker's wife, right?
Yes, in the movie, right.
I couldn't watch that show. I watched, like, the first season, and it was so infuriating. I hated everybody.
Because the women were getting away with stuff because you're a misogynist pig? Or
yeah, I couldn't believe that they treated those women so nicely. No, the people in that movie are like the conservatives in America. They're the worst.
You're right. I was watching. They were jerking off watching that show. I was watching clips on YouTube of Universal Studios. They have the horror haunted houses on Halloween.
Yeah.
And they made an Us haunted house.
Cool.
And Lupita Nyong'o actually dressed up as her character in it just because she went through it and just did it, started scaring people. So
nice.
That was pretty neat. And then one guy who was portraying Tim Heidecker, like the thing I like about the Halloween, because I haven't been to any of those Halloween Horror Night shits, but the thing I like about it is they actually take little details. Like there's a part where one of the actors who's playing Tim Heidecker's character puts his hand out for a high five, and then you're supposed to reach for it, and then he just touches his hair just like in the movie. Wow, that is just such a small thing. That's like, at least they give a shit about their Halloween things over there. Anyway, very weird note to end this film about Black History Month with an anecdote about a white character. But it's a run-of-the-mill sort of slasher film, better than average. Very good art direction. You can stop me and add your own points. This is me not talking for you.
As far as Black history, it's not nearly about race as much as Get Out was, obviously.
No, it's not. But it is.
But, it's an all black cast, black director, and they do
what we're trying to do with this
cultural things that are like normal for normal black people.
What we're trying to do with this month of horror films of Black History Month is trying to look for horror films that are either directed, written by African American filmmakers or stars, and then also if the protagonist is African American, even if it's directed by a white person. It really stinks
that there just aren't that many good ones. They need to make more.
And we're saying that with the point that there's a lot of horrible white horror movies too.
Oh, there's a million horrible white horror movies, but there's way more of them, so therefore there's more good ones too.
Right. For every let's say the Transfiguration, which had a black lead, which I thought was fucking great.
That was a great movie. That was the one with the kid that thought he was a vampire, right?
Yeah, which is made by a white director, but then you get Tales from the Hood 2, which
yeah, Tales from the Hood 1, that was amazing, and Candyman.
That's amazing.
I guess Candyman counts. That's a great one.
Candyman's great because it's not really. Well, Candyman is I guess he's a black antagonist, but he's good. He's who you remember from.
Well, but it's set in a black neighborhood and everything. I don't know. So, I'm a white guy, so what can I say as a black?
No, you're
I don't know.
Because remember, white.
Yeah,
people
I guess that's
get
true.
Angry
people hate me too.
Some white guy was like, "What in tarnation?" Anyway. So anyway, but with that, what rating would you give us 2019?
I will give it a 7.5.
Ooh, okay.
I will give it a 7.5 out of 10. Picturing your doppelganger versions having all kinds of weird, freaky sex against their will, mimicking you having freaky sex of your will.
Talking about having I Got 5 on it. Here's the thing. I remember Lupita Nyong'o got in trouble for. This is another stupid fucking thing people get in trouble for. Lupita Nyong'o, she based Red's voice because Red had her throat crushed, her larynx crushed. She can't. I don't know, something like that. She based it on the voice of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's a senator, I believe, or he's somebody in the Senate. Because he has that vocal, vocal fry is, right? When you talk like that. If you ever hear his voices, and then people were she based it on him and the spasmodic dysphonia that he suffers from. And people were like, oh, this is offensive. How could you do a voice like that in a movie based on a real person? You don't know what that person goes through. And you're like, oh, Lupita I think she had to, apologize.
Everybody needs to shut the fuck up.
I also
what is give wrong? Okay, go.
I also will give it a 7 out of 10. Going to the beach to have some good times and then them having to kill the other version of yourself. And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
111, welcome back.